Miss Newlove, and I'm your host. In the studio today we have a great pioneer. I'm so happy that he is on the show. His name is Dennis Tawiah. He is the CEO of Dvision's Management and Akwaaba UK. But before we speak to Dennis, I'd like to say a big thank you to our main sponsors for today's show, who are World Remit and also Cosmic Cocktails. Cosmic Cocktails you can contact for all your cocktail solutions. I mean, they do pre-packaged cocktails, they set up at your parties, they're amazing. Their number will come on the screen. Don't forget to contact them for all your cocktails. And recently, they started doing immune boosters, which are great, especially for this kind of weather. We need to, boost our immune systems. And also World Remit. As I always say, I personally use World Remit. They are an amazing money transfer app, sending money to all countries all over the world in a twinkle of an eye. World Remit, thank you once again for sponsoring the show. Today, I would like to also mention two other sponsors. One is Dash Mobile Kitchen, and the details will come up on the screen. Dash Mobile Kitchen do all your African cuisines, your jollof rice, your wachi, your chicken kebabs. Tasty, I love it. She even brought me some food this week. Don't forget to contact them for your food, catering services as well. They're amazing. Dash Mobile Kitchen. Also, Base. Base is a company that was founded by Jackie Obeng, and she was a guest on my first show back after COVID. Her details will also come on the screen. Base are there to help you set up your businesses if you want to become an entrepreneur. We're living in an era where entrepreneurship is very big. Contact Base, they will help you set up from website design to personal one-to-one advice. Contact Base for your entrepreneurial business, for your entrepreneurial ventures, and also your startup businesses. Contact Base, their details will come on our screen. So as I said, we have to go right into it because we're running late. I have Dennis in the studio, aka Radical D, CEO of Akwaaba UK. I'm so happy he's here to join us today. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my guest.
I'm happy to be here.
Imagine you're on my show. Look how long we've known each other, and look where we've ended up. You've ended up on my show, GoalDiggers.
I'm happy to be here. And thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. I had to have you on the show because you're a pioneer. This show, let me just explain to you what GoalDiggers is all about. It's a show that brings to light people that are doing amazing things in their communities, various societies and professions. And then, sometimes I like to throw in the veterans and the pioneers in their professions and whatever they've done in their communities. So you're here and we're going to be talking all about your life. And I'm sure people are eagerly awaiting to listen, to hear about Radical D, because you haven't done much TV appearances, have you?
And I'm very shy, so TV, I tend to stay away from TV, but the request came from you, so I couldn't turn it down.
Oh, I hear that, guys. Listen, share. We're live here on Omega Live TV, on Facebook and YouTube. We're also live, we're live on Facebook and YouTube, Omega Live TV. Share this with everyone. We're going to be speaking to Radical D, Dennis Tawiah, aka Radical D. Sorry, he's in the studio. So share. Get people listening, because Dennis is a pioneer, and it's because of him that most of us are doing what we are doing today. Most of us Ghanaians in the diaspora that are creatives, we look up, and what I have personally looked up to Dennis. I've worked with him in the past, and he's here today, back on my, back in my presence. As I said. So Dennis, we're going to talk about everything from childhood to 90% hit squad to Miss Ghana. We're going to talk about his dad, some mind-blowing information about his father, also about Akwaaba in general, Dvisions, and what to expect. There's a surprise at the end. So Dennis, I personally don't know you personally. I know you professionally.
Okay.
So, what was your childhood like? Was you born in Ghana? Was you born here?
Born and raised in Ghana. Spent most of my time in Osu.
Okay.
I attended primary school, preparatory school, in Osu. Then I went on to primary school in Achimota Primary.
Okay.
Before obviously my mother and father decided to bring me over here to come and further my education or play football, whichever one came first. So yeah.
So was you good at football?
I would say I was okay at football. I was okay at football. I love football as a sport in general, but I was okay. But I was playing back then coast football in Ghana. I was playing for a coast team called Stamford in the Sioux, and then I moved on to play for another coast team in Tema, which was called Tema Harbour City. Then from there, in between going to Achimota Primary, and then came to United Kingdom to further my education. But when I came here, my dad obviously wanted me to be a footballer. So
so that was the main reason.
Yes. So
you came to the UK.
Well, I wouldn't know now. I wish I could ask him, but I know he always supported whatever I wanted to do for football. I know from going to various trials. I had quite a lot of trials with various clubs at the time. Brentford, Southend, Colchester, Watford, and I always remember him, coming along when it's very cold. Him coming along, still standing there watching me. So I guess he wanted me to be a footballer. But having done my father, he always wanted his children to have that educational side of things to them.
So what did you study, like academically?
I wanted to be a motor mechanic. I really badly wanted to be a motor mechanic at the time. So I attended Stoke Newington School, whereby I went on to Hackney College, and I was doing motor mechanics. But to be honest with you, the classroom wasn't for me. I spent most of my time, going for trials. Sometimes I'm supposed to be in class and I don't attend class.
So you wasn't really into school?
It wasn't really into school. I mean, most of the time people say they only see me during the lunchtime, playtime, when it's time for football, obviously after we've had dinner and people playing football. But in the classrooms, I was in there most of the time,
So do you think you come into the UK mainly because of football was something your father wanted more than you wanted? Or was it at the time something you wanted as well? I
mean, at the time, yes, something I wanted, but I didn't know much about football here in the UK. I didn't know, I didn't know how competitive it was. I didn't know. I mean, it wasn't easy thinking of a young child coming from Ghana or Africa per se, coming to settle in a very cold country, and then you want to play football. And I remember each time when I go on trials, all I think about how cold it is. That's all that is in my mind. How cold it is. I'm always wrapped up. Extra gear, sometimes wearing 2 socks just to, because sometimes the cold plays on my mind more than anything else. So me per se, football wasn't on my mind as I wanted to do it. But if I was in Ghana, maybe because most of the boys around my area, we were just into his football, going to the stadium, watching football, talking about football, and then that's what it is. So back in Ghana, I think.
Okay, so how was your social life?
Here in the UK? My social life was okay. I mean, it was just more wasn't to do with club, to be honest. It was more or less going out with friends, going to Southend, going to the beaches and things like that. That's what we were doing, but it wasn't nothing to do with entertainment.
You wasn't really.
No, it wasn't.
Like you said, you're quite shy.
Yeah,
it was more.
It's only until I had a YTS at that time, which is called Youth Training Scheme at Watford Football Club, and normally it's for 2 years, but within the first 8-9 months, I got told that, look, you're not good enough, you cannot. It
wasn't your destiny to become a footballer.
then I had to think, right, football is not going to happen. What am I going to do next? Then entertainment came into it. Football came into it. Not football, DJing came into it. So it was after that.
Okay. So how did you start the DJing? Because obviously you're called Radical D, and you know what radical means. I don't even understand why you're called Radical, because you're like me. You're so like reserved and so like smooth, and Radical's like, So how did you get that name?
I'm trying to remember, but I think it's from my friends around about that time. Those days, honestly, I was heavily into house music, acid house music. That's what I was heavily. And then obviously, it's a bit when you think of acid house music, or you think of all the necessary stuff that goes with it. So,
yeah.
you know, I had to think of a name that will fit into the...
Yeah, and I think those days, probably like 80s, 90s, we just used to make up street names that probably didn't suit us. It's just, if someone called you that, then that's your name.
No, but I felt like I had to have a name, so you know what I mean? So I think Radical D was just what I chose. But most of my 90% group, they call me, I can't really say this, but yeah, let's move on. I can't really say it.
What do they call you?
No.
So how did 90% Hit Squad start? I mean, how did you guys form?
90% was always was a run as a sound system in terms of we used to rent out musical equipment to various acid house events, big events.
We do have pictures of Radical D and 90%. Even when I saw them, I was like, is that Dennis? Dennis had muscles. Was you working out? I mean...
That's the young Radical. That's the young Radical. You know, that's myself.
With Abrantier.
DJ Abrantier, Mr. Shooks, Mr. Trips. We got Moscamp, we got Black Ash. You know, we started off as more like renting our musical equipment to various promoters. But then we just thought to ourselves, look,
so that's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it really started.
You came together as a group of friends, and I mean, like, tell us, did you all put money in and bought these sound systems? How did it work? Like,
no, I mean, I know that Trips and Shooks, they were very close. They were close friends from school. They went to school together in Northwest London, and they had this hobby for collecting records. They used to go to car boot sale. I also came off a background from, as I said, acid house music, so I had my own you know, records and my DJ equipment. So it's all about bringing everything together. But Moscamp, who was a professional DJ, who at the time all his job was...
Moscamp. Shout out to Moscamp.
Moscamp's main job was a DJ, and he is the reason why I became a DJ, because sometimes
because I was like, was Dennis a DJ? Was you even a DJ?
No, it's Moscamp that made me become a DJ, because sometimes I go to his studio in Hackney, and the way this guy is mixing and scratching, I'm thinking, I really want to do this, you know. So one day...
He is a good DJ.
He's an excellent DJ. I keep saying that guy's a legend. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am. Because without him, I would never be a DJ. You know, I bought my my first Technics turntable from him too, and then the mixer. And then you know, he actually was the one who was mentoring me what to do, inviting me all the time to his studio. I'm always finding out most where you playing, you know. And those days used to be a lot of house parties. And then from there, he again took me to the rest of the 90% boys and said, look.
So he introduced you to the squad?
Yeah, he introduced me to the squad. But at that time, Moss was so busy. He had so many things he was doing. Moss was one of the top DJs in the whole of the UK. So he didn't really have time for, you know, what we were about to do. So we just said, yeah, you know, this is my little boy, just, you know.
But you lot travelled around. I mean, you lot were quite big. So, I mean, what are some of your memorable moments with 90%?
90%, we got, I mean, we're going to tell a story shortly.
But the beginning, I'm talking about like before you started doing what we're going to talk about. But I mean, what was your because here it looks like you're in Tenerife or something.
Tenerife. I mean, we used to travel. I mean, one thing, we used to Tenerife. International bookings came part of the job of what we're doing. You know, a lot of promoters wanted this international DJ, so we were booked to go to Spain, Amsterdam. You know, there was so many different places that we've been. The whole of Europe, I could say. You know, as well as America. You know, but we had quite a lot of bookings as well here in the UK, because here in the UK, I'm talking about from Monday to Sunday, every single night. You know,
and there was so much raves there.
Yeah, there were, you know. And then we had a university rave, so that was quite a lot as well, because you could imagine most of the ACS, you know, university people, they want that African group to come and represent.
And were you guys playing African music? Were you playing hip life?
No, at the time we were not playing hip life. You know, who are you to play hip life or high life at that time? You know, and that's a different story in itself, which a lot of people don't know. But when we first started, hip life, high life, now to what we all calling it Afrobeat, wasn't. You know, we played more soca than anything else. You know, even if we have to play highlight for hip life, it would mostly be CK Man, Adra Yankee, which lasts for a good 25 minutes or so. Or the older case we might have to play Sweet Mother. But I know we were at some clubs as well, whereby wherever we try to play African music, the manager will come in, or the owner of the club will say, hey, stop it, you can't play this. You know, we had some regular nights in the West End whereby we were not allowed to play African music.
Can you imagine? And now it's like the most popular music. You know, it's what everyone wants to hear. People want to collaborate with our artists. It's amazing.
You know, I quite remember in a club in Cameos in the West End, whereby the owner came to me, I know he's passed away now, may he rest in peace, Carlos. It's like, I don't want this music in my club. You know. However, the audience, the customers were enjoying it at the time. But he just said, look, I don't want this music. Did we know a couple of years down the line now, you know, this would be the main thing that would be played. So the music scene was good, but we enjoyed it. I mean, we were, like I said, 6 young guys, and we were ready to, you know, conquer anything that came our way. And also we were Ghanaians, and we were very, very proud of that. You know, that was unique.
And those days, it wasn't even, to be honest, something to be proud of. A lot of people would say, "Oh, I'm half Ghanaian, half Jamaican."
You know, people
they'll remix it.
People are shying away from being Ghanaian or African in general. You know, but I believe you know what we did and what we brought. You know, we made it fashionable. You know, we made it fashionable for what is happening right now. You know, we've added that. You know, because we broke doors. You know, we knocked on so many people's door. There was promoters, there was club owners that didn't want to know anything. You know. Even radio station didn't want to know. You know, now the main radio station that's playing Afrobeat music, 10 us down.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, you know, Choice FM now, Capital Extra, they didn't want to play. They were not interested in playing African music. So we kept on, you know, we went back 3 or 4 times. You know, we had a guest show on Radio 1. We were not allowed to play African music. We had to play, what was it now?
R&B,
hip hop.
Raga,
you know,
oh my gosh.
Django, you know.
I remember.
You know, some old swing beats, but that's what it was. So
do you think out of this frustration is why you guys started to do your own events? When did that start?
Okay, we started doing our own events because mainly it's because of the Ghanaian community. You know, we worked alongside some wonderful other DJs like DJ Francis, Sammy K, DJ Okoto. There's a few other DJs. We worked alongside them by organizing Ghana Independence. Also Miss Ghana, which we talk about here as well. And you know, Ghanaians, we came together. You know, we came together. We enjoyed each other's company. And you know, I'm talking about, you know, filling up a venues. Like we had a venue in Bel Air nightclub, which had 3 big arenas, and we managed to get.
I heard, never went. I heard.
You never went. Well, you missed that. But you know, Bel Air, whereby, you know, people were coming, watching the likes of Lidodu, A.B. Crensol, Amachi Dede, Nana Tufo, another one.
So they were coming over to the UK?
Oh yeah, they were coming over to the UK. We were working alongside Big Joe, Nakasi Records, who would also introduce us to some of the artists from Ghana. You know, and then one time, I think the year was 1994, we came together alongside other DJs and some promoters and said, look, we are going to make it big now. Let's come out of Bel Air. Then we decided to go to Brixton Academy. Brixton Academy in those days, you cannot even go there to book Brixton Academy because it was the main artists that were using Brixton Academy. We went there, Brixton Academy didn't even believe we could even get 100 people through the door. So after booking Brixton Academy and getting tickets to sell for the event, you know, they only gave us 100 tickets to sell. This is a 4,000 plus capacity venue. They only gave us 100 tickets to sell. On that same day, we came back. We took the tickets to Emmanuel Barbers in Clapham Junction. And
those days, I remember we used to go around selling physical. There was no
paper tickets, no internet,
no Eventbrite, no Shubs,
no Shubs, no, you know, you couldn't buy tickets online.
Like,
you physically have to go to the shops.
Had to go to the shops.
So we managed to do that. I think we turned around within three days. We sold out Brixton Academy. Yeah. And this is still with over a month left to go. And then on the day of the event itself, still had a lot of people looking forward to buy tickets to see Daddy Lumba and Kojo Entry.
Imagine.
At Brixton Academy, yes.
Powerful.
1994. We can never forget that. Straight after that event, I remember straight after, the following day, I think our phone started ringing. My phone would be ringing, Shook's phone would be ringing, Trip's phone would be ringing, clubs in the Western, all these Western clubs that didn't want us around there, started calling us, come and do a residence for us, come and do this for us. because they thought that for us to be able to draw that amount of people to come to this event, as well as having people outside that were being turned away, they had to get the police to come and drive people away. It's like, no, there's something special about
so
this.
So now, after that, they wanted you.
After that, they wanted us.
So let's talk about Miss Ghana, because Miss Ghana is undoubtedly the most, Miss Ghana UK,
yes,
the most like popular, best beauty pageant. And you guys started, you know, Miss Ghana UK, and I think Miss Ghana UK has pushed other African countries, other people in the diaspora to do pageants for their countries, and not just for their countries, but, you know, for different body shapes and sizes. Like, you guys are the pioneers, you know. How did the vision come for Miss Ghana?
The vision for Miss Ghana came from DJ Francis and Liz. I think it was 1993, if I can remember. And
when you say Liz, which Liz?
I can't remember Liz's first name, but not Liz, the presenter. I think there was two Liz.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just being nosy.
Okay. But Miss Ghana, I'll say to you, played a major part in all of us as a sex. The reason why I'm saying this is that Miss Ghana was a yearly event, right? Except from that, annual event. Except from that, I think after 1994, whereby, you know, the option was it's not going to take place again.
So which year was the first?
The first one was 1993.
Wow.
Whereby Linda Makeba won it, you know. DJ Francis and Liz, they put it together. And we 90% at the time we were.
And where
DJs.
was it held?
It was held at Bel Air, the famous Bel Air.
The Bel Air I never saw.
No, the Bel Air never. Well, they've broken it down. It's now part of Westfield Shopping Mall.
Oh, okay. So where was Bel Air?
Bel Air was in where Westfield is now. Really.
Oh, okay. So West London.
No, East London. After Hackney Marshes.
Oh, sorry.
Westfield Stratford.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the first one.
Yeah, after Hackney Marshes, just moving straight along.
Okay.
Now the Olympics Village, actually, to give it a better name. Yeah, that's where it is. So, and people turn out to Miss Ghana, you know, every year, every single year. It was full, you know. And also for us as well, it was a form of a party. You know, at the beginning, I'll be honest with you, the first phase of Miss Ghana was more of a party, you know. People coming, a perfect opportunity to come out and, you know, because we didn't have a lot of places to go. You know, there was not many nightclubs we could have gone to, you know, either Miss Ghana or the house parties that we had to rely on. So Miss Ghana's played a major part.
And did you have to get permission from Miss Ghana in Ghana itself, or did you?
We didn't have to get. No, the only permission we needed was from within ourselves. You know.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, we didn't. Miss Ghana in Ghana didn't want to be part of what was happening in the UK, because Miss Ghana in Ghana at the time was very big. You know.
Yes.
Although I knew the owners very well, Gedilai, Media Wizkid. We had like one or two affiliation whereby. You know, the winners could come over, you know, and then at the time, Mavis Amankwa at the time was the one who was handling the female side of things, the pageants, and we were doing the promotions, which is 90%. So Miss Ghana went through that stage and then moved on from being what I would say more of a party type of event to more, you know, it became, Miss Ghana then became more educational, you know, whereby the whole format of Miss Ghana changed. It became a sit-down event, because Bel Air was more like a standing event.
Oh, so it's more like a rave type of event.
It's a rave, you know, it was, as I'm saying, it was a rave, but it helped us at the time, you know, but then it moved on to become more of a sit-down event, you know, whereby the likes of TNJ, then Mavis Ose, you know, all of them got involved, took it to the level there is, and now I would say Mavis Ose and Silla have now taken it to another level.
Definitely,
so definitely. If you look, let's say each decade, Miss Ghana keeps on moving on.
Definitely, and it's still going on. Has there ever been a year there hasn't been a Miss Ghana? Did you guys ever stop and start again?
No, maybe I think only 1 year, but that was more because of a contract, you know, dispute at the time. I think that might be in the year 2000, but. You know, Miss Ghana, since, from my knowledge, has been going on ever since. Except from this year, obviously, because of the COVID.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But they're still doing their thing anyway. The Miss Ghana Foundation, all that
Foundation,
stuff.
and obviously, he's always see them on the social media talking about mental health, saying how best they can help other females. So it's not just about a pageant now. There's more to it about Miss Ghana now. You know?
In your opinion, how has Miss Ghana helped Ghanaians in the diaspora, like myself, like like contestants and winners?
Yeah.
How do you think it's helped them connect to their cultural background?
A great deal. That's what I was trying to say. Is that if you look at where Miss Ghana has come from as a rave to now to become a more of a prestigious event, more of an educational event, because when Mavis and Stella are getting the ladies ready, there's a lot of knowledge that goes into it.
Definitely.
You know, they have to do a lot of research about their history, about their culture, even the dancing, even to what they wear. You know, from the intro, you know, what they wear, how they're dancing, is all based on them finding out, doing the research about Ghana. So I feel that a lot of the ladies tend to learn more about, you know, their culture. Some of them don't even speak the language. Some of them don't even know their names. And one of the things I know that Mavis and Silla has been doing is getting the girls to start mentioning their names. You know,
they got their home names, their
Ghanaian names, that, you know, more than their English name. So the pageants has come a long way.
It's definitely amazing to watch. I've been to quite a few, and I'm always blown away. And I learn a lot myself.
Well, we're always learning, you know. And then, like I said, the ladies themselves, they learn a lot, you know, because when you speak to them, it's like, oh wow, before I did Miss Ghana, I didn't know this. Before I did Miss Ghana, I didn't know this. So through Miss Ghana, a lot of them have learned a lot, and then they've moved on to do other things
Amazing
as well.
things.
You know?
Some have become TV presenters,
a lot
actresses,
of them, actresses, you know,
musicians.
Some of them are now promoting themselves. Some of them are now doing their own events. So it paves the way. You know, I know some of the ladies that will say, look, I can't even go on stage, but now they speakers, they guest speakers for various big companies. You know, some of them are also doing modeling and doing very well. So
you must be proud of yourself.
Oh yeah, sometimes I see it, I'm like, wow, you know.
This is all the stuff I've done. Well, you know, they always say that some things are genetic. It comes from our blood. You know, Dennis's father was an amazing man, and upon research, I found out that your dad was the chairman of Hearts of Oaks, Ghanaian football team. Do you think the way your father was has played a part in the way that you are as a person today? And how was your relationship with him?
I was very close with my father, you know, very close. May his soul rest in peace. But yes, I mean, sometimes the stories and things he says to us, you know, what he's done, what he's doing, always makes me think, wow, this man achieved a lot, you know. I remember him saying, oh, he brought Accra folk to the United Kingdom to do a tour. I also remember him saying he invited Santos, a great football club from Brazil, you know, one of the greatest clubs in the whole world. In those days, he invited them to tour Ghana. So when he's saying,
and this is in the 60s, isn't it?
Yes, this is in the 60s, in the late 60s.
Can we show a picture of Dennis's father?
So
production team.
So when I hear, when you know, he keeps telling me, and not only me, but to my rest of my siblings, he keeps talking about this, and like, wow, Daddy, you did achieve a lot, you know. And then obviously I will also go and do my little research, you know.
And was this when you guys were young, or? Oh,
this is when we were young, but I know my older siblings, they were old enough to know what my dad has achieved, but we the younger siblings, we didn't know much to what he was telling us, you know. But then I do remember, you know, once or twice, you know, he would take you somewhere, and then in the midst of the likes of, I remember him taking me to a meeting in Ghana with the likes of, I think he was a candidate to be a president, General Ankara, Harry Zakor, and these are big men who at the time were running across the folk, and this me like a little boy sitting down in the front room listening to what they were saying, and I'm like, wow, you know. So one time I met Harry Zakor at bus stop. Harry Zakor is the great chairman of House of Folk back in the day, and also Accra Great Olympics. And he owns a place called Bus Stop in Ghana, one of the most popular places. So one time I went there with Great Abedi Pele, we were having a chat, you know, and then we were talking about things that my dad has done, you know, even to Abedi Pele, whereby I even got to find out that, you know, my family somehow played a role in him coming from the north, from Temale, to come and settle down in Accra with his father, you know, and then from there, he started playing for a coast football team, Great Falcons, which is again connected to my family. So it's like, you know, always listening to the things that my dad is saying. So me and Abedi were talking about this at the time, and it's like, wow, yeah, your dad was a great man.
Definitely was a great man. Guys, we've been speaking to Dennis Tawiah, aka Radical D. CEO of Notorious, Akwaaba UK, and also Dvision's management, which we're going to talk about in a bit. I mean, we've just started, and he's told us about how he became a part of 90% Hit Squad, and how he formed Miss Ghana with them, and it's just an amazing story. I mean, I just feel like I'm in my front room watching Netflix. I feel so relaxed. Yeah, Dennis, so your father, you've told us about his achievements, and you know, he was a great man, and I asked you if you thought he's played a part on who you've become today, and you are the CEO of Akwaaba UK, which is like, Akwaba's gone through so much, you know, it's just grown and grown and grown. It's a full-scale production and events company. You've done so many events. How did you get the concept for Akwaaba UK? How did it start?
It started between myself and my partner at the time, Clifford Opoku. Cliff is in Ghana now. We decided to have an event. And in fact, the event was called Akwaaba.
Okay.
Yeah, meaning welcome.
Yes.
You know, and the first one was a very, very big success. You know, myself, Cliff, Eben, Emilio from West Coast, DJ Fire. And, you know, it was like, oh, wow, it's good to get so many people. We held the event at Cynthia's Nightclub, which is in Tooley Street, London Bridge. If you know London Bridge very well, there used to be a nightclub, you know. I know Cynthia's. Yeah, it was one of the iconic nightclubs because you had these robots in the corner that could serve you your drinks or whatever, you know. So, and then we just started doing it on a monthly basis, and it's like, wow, you know, people were looking forward to it.
So you're doing these raves called Akwaaba on a monthly?
On a monthly.
And was this like where you were playing all the hip life and the...
That's when, yes, we were playing hip life. We were playing a lot of hip life at the time, you know.
So Ghanaians had a place to go and rave.
They had a place, you know. And then we had good DJs as well, DJ French Case, DJ XL. So it was like like a trendy place as well. Don't forget London Bridge at that time as well was, you know, was trendy. So it was like,
Tooley Street.
Tooley Street. So you got to, and then people were coming out, and from something that was a monthly event, then became a weekly event.
Okay.
So from there, you know, the numbers, we are growing the place. So it was like, okay, well, what can we do? So then we came up with Akwaaba Presents. Then we moved on to bigger premises. I think the place we moved into is in a place in South London called Citizen Nightclub by Wandsworth Town Hall. Yeah, that's it. So we moved there. That's quite a big capacity, you know. And then we were managed to get quite a lot of people into that place as well. And then things went really, really well.
So it just started off as a monthly event for Ghanaians to come and connect and chill.
Yeah, and then
it's now turned into...
And then word was spreading. So every month, people were looking forward to come to Akwaaba. People were even coming from Ghana during the summer holidays to come and you know, be part of what's this Akwaaba. And it was just and then it was excellent.
I can imagine. I never went, guys. I was too young. I wasn't even allowed out those days, so I can't even say I experienced it. But guys, as I said before, we're in the studio with Radical D. We're in the studio with Dennis Tawiah, aka Radical D, and I just want to acknowledge some of the viewers. I forget sometimes this is an interactive show and people, you know, say stuff, so we have to acknowledge their presence. Yeah, so Peter Hassler said, looking good, Eve. Oh, thank you. Peter was my guest 2 weeks ago with Stella. Peter is the patron of an organization called Best Stell Foundation. They support mental health. Elizabeth Amoir said, very interesting and inspiring interview. Parjo said, doing a good job there. I love the interview. Lily Terrier, your sister, said, well done. And Sammy K, she's getting involved in the conversation. Kwame Terry says, Sammy K, may his soul rest in peace. Elizabeth Amoir's tagging Mavis Osei, share. People, like, there's so much. A Freak Show, Proud. Winnie Osei Kissy, one of our presenters who hosts The Health. It's so hot in the studio, guys. I'm struggling. It is on fire. But yeah, Winnie Osei Kissy, she hosts our Let's Talk event on Friday, says, I'm always proud to see young Ghanaian African men and women hitting great heights. Laudia said, good one. Peter Hassler said, we need Radical D to collaborate to do a Ghana music event to raise money for mental health awareness. Bestel, I'll speak to you about that after the show. Nice one, Peter. Great interview. Long live African music. Peter said, I'm liking Radical D. Ben said, I like his spirit. I mean, people are really enjoying the interview, which helps us continue and keep it going on, doesn't it? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll go back to the viewers in a bit. So yeah, Dennis, Akwaaba UK, you guys have done some amazing events. I mean, Ghana Independence every year.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my first raves. Okay. Yeah, Ghana Independence.
I mean, Ghana Independence was just, obviously, we're proud.
And you know, sorry to cut you, you know what I loved about Ghana Independence and what I loved about looking forward to it is the fact that we'll go and get cloth, me and my friends, and they will match. We'll go and and it was such a big ordeal. Like, we'd really plan, we're going to wear this cloth and you do that style, and you know, we'll turn up with our girls and everyone will be in their squad with different clothes, and it was just amazing. I really enjoyed going to Ghana Independence.
Ghana Independence was again another good event for us. And I remember going to Ghana back then, and people would say, "Oh, when you guys come out, you know, you're always proud of wearing the African outfit, the African print." Now, I have to say, the UK community have been wearing the African print for long. I'm not saying Ghanaians don't wear it, but in terms of fashionable, you know, like you just mentioned, you know, people were sewing outfits, you know, getting outfit ready, you know, even when it's cold outside.
Saving our last coins, you know, just
to get, you know. So I remember I was in Ghana on one of the radio stations, it's like, hey, how do you guys do it over there? Do you have tailors? Do you have seamstresses there? I said, look, it's a month of planning, you know. Ladies are getting ready just to get that traditional outfit on. And that was even part of our tagline when we're doing our radio script. Get your traditional outfit ready. Ghana Independence, you know.
Best outfit.
Best outfit, you know. So we always encourage the people, you know. We were proud of where we came from, you know. We were proud. We knew that we were doing the right thing, you know. People now see what Afrobeat is now. They only see what it is now. But back then, we were doing what we believe in. That, look, we're proud Ghanaians, we're proud Africans, you know.
Stratford Rex.
Come
God,
on.
I remember going there. Suffocating in the crowd.
Stratford Rex is a big venue, and you know that even when you're there, it's like, you know,
like you couldn't even move.
You can't even move.
Like,
you know, from backstage to the main door, it takes you a good 1 hour just to move back and forth. And we, like I say, even Brixton Academy is big, but Stratford Rex is another big venue.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, and we were getting numbers into this venue, so we were forced to be recognized. You know, whether you like it or not, these guys were here. You know, and it's not only just one-off events. As well as we were doing other musical concerts as well. You know,
I mean, there's so much you guys do. I don't even know where to start.
I remember bringing Reggie Rockstone, bringing Samini, bringing Miss Bell, Castro, Sydney, Obo, FBS Crew. I mean, the list goes on, even to Sarkodie. I remember bringing them, all of them here, all to Stratford Rex, you know, and getting the numbers in at Stratford Rex. So what we did, and what we are still doing now, you know, it's all for the culture. We've always been proud of it. You know, people shouldn't just think, oh, what they see now it's fashionable. Afrobeat is everywhere now. So people,
but they don't know the hard work. People like you,
some of them, they don't know the hard work.
You know, Alodia, all of you guys.
Let's talk about Brantier. You know, someone like a Brantier spend most of its time, you know, grafting hard on Capital. You know, they gave him we call it graveyard shift. This is like,
I remember, like
3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, and this guy stuck to it, you know.
And he was consistent.
And, you know, and he's played a major part to what Afrobeat is now, you know.
Definitely.
The other day, some people were doing some, you know, some mention about Afrobeat, and they didn't mention his name. I'm like thinking, wow, Abrante's name should be one of the first on the list. That
I think with the Nigerian community and the Ghanaian community, we have come together eventually. But in the beginning, it was like everyone was trying to claim Afrobeats at the time. I think that's what, but you know, it's strange that happened, because when we were 90%, we were doing it for Africa. Because I remember even at the time, there's a next Nigerian DJs called Black Knights. You know, we were very close with Black Knights, you know. So sometimes when we have... they were like the 90%
of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria.
So sometimes when we have events, or when we got a booking, they come along with us. Sometimes when they got events as well, they will call us and say 90% come along, even if we were not booked. Okay. So we had that mutual relationship. We were just doing it for the, you know, for the African community. And this is something that went along. But right now, as you say, at the beginning of when Afrobeat was getting popular, a lot of people are forgetting the work which our branches put into it, which I feel quite sad about it, you know, because I know what it's like, you know. I know from day one, you know, myself even getting involved, getting the mixtape to Choice FM to say, Choice FM, look, this is the African music we could play. I remember Wuta coming up with a song, and I was very close with some of the Choice FM DJs. I said, look, play this on your show. And they're like, no, I can't really play this, you know.
Can you imagine?
And Wuta's song at the time had 80% English. I mean, the lyrics in the song was English. And the guy didn't want to play it. I don't blame him, don't get me wrong.
Because it was a different time.
Yeah, you know. Now, then when the Church of him started to play African music, I said to him, do you remember me calling to say, look, this is the music, start playing? He said, yeah, don't worry, Abrantes will play. Gives Abrantes. I said, no, don't worry, Abrantes knows to play anyway. But it was difficult at the time, and he played a major part. He played a major part. So I think when people are talking about Afrobeat, they should think about him. Same way when people are talking about how it's fashionable for entertainment scene, within African entertainment scene now, they should always think of 90% and Black Nights, you know?
Definitely. And I mean, the impact you guys, not just on like music, but on fashion, film, sports, you know, it's affected.
Yeah, you know, and again, I remember watching Nigeria playing a football match against Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, here at QPR. And I said to myself, this is something I want to do for Ghana, you know? But at the time...
And that's something you did do, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, okay. At the time, I was like, you know, I've achieved a lot with Akwaaba. We've done Miss Ghana, we've done various concerts, which I've mentioned some of them. You know, what's the next challenge? But I went to that football match and I was like, oh, this is something I could do. So let me just try and convince the Ghana football team to come and play a match here. I spoke to the Ghana national team, the Black Stars, had a friendly match in France against Senegal. Okay. And a lot of things didn't go well. I got a phone call within 48 hours. I was like, oh, can you turn this around? I'm like, yeah, I can turn this around. You know, what's the challenge? Oh, the challenge is we need to get a minimum. This is what we need to get a minimum by 1,000 people to the stadium. So don't worry, I've got a database. I organize Ghana Party in the Park. I organize Miss Ghana. I organize Ghana Independent. I've got a strong database. Let's do it. So I flew over to France, met the GFA, met the match agents. At the time, they were not too sure whether this could happen. I said, look, within 48 hours, I've managed to turn that match. The match cannot take place in France. It's now coming to the United Kingdom at Brentford Stadium, Ghana against Senegal, and we had over 3,000 people. And the match agent in Brentford at the time just wanted only about 1,000 people. We got them 3,000 people. And I thought to myself, you know what, this is it. I'm not looking back. I established a good relationship with the Ghana football team, the GFA. And then when Ghana qualified for the World Cup, again, Ghana didn't have any friendly matches at the time. I mean, there was a lot of talk in the Ghanaian press. Every day you wake up to, Ghana is playing this country, Ghana is playing that country. And we literally had 3 weeks to the World Cup. Other nations were playing football matches. What is Ghana doing? Ghana had nothing, you know. And I remember going back to my good friend, Fred Papo, who was at the time vice president of GF. I said, look, trust me, Fred, give me the opportunity. I'll be able to organize some matches for you. I'll speak to my match agent. It's like, okay, all you need to do is convince the chairman, which is Kwesi Nyantichi. He was at the time was a little bit skeptical, you know, not too sure. Yeah, you know, this is going to be hard. I said, I've got 2 matches for you. I've got Ghana against Jamaica and I've got Ghana against Turkey. And it's like, okay, let's see what we could do. So we went ahead and advertised Ghana to play Jamaica and Ghana to play against Turkey. The minute we advertised Ghana play Jamaica, we got calls from the English FA saying this match cannot take place.
Why?
England national team were playing Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a friendly match already organized with Jamaica, which we knew about, but we didn't think would be a problem. So I thought to myself, please don't say I'm going to get this wrong, because the whole nation, the whole Ghana, everybody's looking forward to this match. And then I had another call again 2 or 3 days later on, Ghana cannot play Turkey. Now this one was a bit of a political problem, because at the time, Turkey football, not the nation, but Turkish football clubs were not allowed to play matches here. For some reason, I think it's to do with an English fan being killed in Istanbul.
Okay.
I think it was Leeds United at that time. So they didn't want a situation whereby, you know, supporters who come from Turkey will cause a little bit of problem. They didn't want that. So I thought to myself, I got 2 matches lined up for Ghana national team, and both matches going to take place for whatever reason it will be. Again, I went back to the drawing board, reorganized Ghana to play Turkey in Germany, Ghana to play Jamaica here at Leicester Football Stadium, and also added an extra match with my agent for Ghana to play, I think it was either Japan or South Korea in Scotland. So again, we were back on track, 3 good international friendly matches for the Ghana Black Star to prepare for the World Cup. And yes, all 3 matches, Ghana did very well. Excellent. You know, and we didn't, and what a lot of people didn't, we didn't even stop there. Not only just playing the match, I again managed to convince the GFA to come the Ghana Black Stars here. We stayed in Leicester for a period of about 2 to 3 weeks before the team flew to Germany to take part in the World Cup tournament. So
and then I came to a match in Watford.
Yes, that was I think that was Ghana Nigeria. That's one of the matches as well. We had 2 matches, Ghana Nigeria, and then also we played Nigeria twice, and there was another one at Brentford Stadium to mark Ghana independence celebration. I think it must have been Ghana 50. Ghana 50. Part of the celebration was to play against Nigeria again, another match which Ghana won. You know, so it's a lot of things I've enjoyed about Ghana football, but the challenges were there, and I was ready to meet those challenges. You know, and people up to today don't believe that I managed to organize matches for the Ghana national team, but it's there on record. This is
football
what I did.
Agent in the making. Well, he's a pioneer, so he doesn't, being a football agent is not even a big deal, because you've done more than
you never know,
what
maybe
some football agents.
One day I might want to do something football, because I like what my dad has achieved. And one day, Accra Suffolk being very close to me, one day I would like to have a role to play in
that would be amazing. So another amazing event that Akwaaba have produced is Ghana Party in the Park, which is one of my favourites, because Ghana Party in the Park brings all Ghanaians together, and you can bring your children. It's a place to meet. I mean, it's just an amazing event. It's amazing. So how did you come up with Ghana Party in the Park?
Ghana Party in the Park was the idea. We used to call it Meet Me There. If you remember,
yes, that's it.
A good friend of mine, Kojo Bones, who he brought me on board to organize Meet Me There, and I looked at it and I thought, look, Meet Me There, you know, I can make it bigger than that, and that's when, you know, it grew to become Ghana Party in the Park, and then yes, it's now one of the biggest festivals we could have here.
And what does it take to produce such an event? Because I mean, talk us through it. Like, I know it's stressful, because I've seen you on a day at Ghana Party in the Park, and it's like don't even talk to Dennis. Dennis is,
it's not happening.
He's not in the mood. So I know it's such a big production. What does it entail?
A lot of things, from health and safety, which plays a major part, security, planning, booking of artists, getting various vendors there, getting contractors to come in, months the whole place. This is an open field, you see. So obviously we have to get various contractors coming to man the place, setting it up, you know. The planning, I mean, we're now in 2020. 2021, I've already started planning, you know.
I can
I've already started putting things in place, you know.
So you plan a year ahead?
Yeah, we plan a year, you know, and then now that we a little bit more established, now that it's a big festival, we have the templates already, so there's a little tweak here and there, you know. We also challenge ourselves, what can we do next? What other artists can we get, you know? That's one thing I want to do. I want to be able to be at a place whereby we've got some big A-list artists coming to Ghana Party in the Park.
You've had some big, like,
we've had some, you know.
You've had so much artists, and it's also, I mean, Ghana Party in the Park, not even Ghana Party in the Park, but Akwaaba in general, has created opportunities for creatives, young people. We've seen presenters come out of it, just like Miss Ghana. Just like Miss Ghana. Party in the Park, I mean, it's giving a platform to so many artists, you know, so many artists that I know their first time of having that stage, that crowd, is at Ghana Party in the Park, you know. If you look at, I'm not going to mention them, but there's various artists that have been on the Ghana Party, whether it's a musician, whether it's a dancer, they've had that experience of Ghana Party in the Park, blowing them up to the next stage, you know. I remember Mr. Easy saying to me, that's one artist that is always supported us, saying to me, Dennis,
after Ghana Party in the Park, I started getting calls from China. You know, this is what Mr. Easy is saying to me. I'm like, he never thought that would happen to him. I said, yes, you know, your platform is good, you know, to get so many people, and not only people from the United Kingdom. We had people coming from Jamaica, people coming from Belgium,
coming from
you know, all over, you know, and it's like, this is what we are creating. We're creating that platform for people to establish themselves. Like you said, I know so many presenters. I give them a lot of opportunities. Look, come. People call me, can I do this? Yeah, come and do something. Even if there's nothing to do, I still find a way to say, look, come, you know, just, I'll get your cameraman to work with, walk around, interview people. It's an experience. Because now I look at someone like Miss Drew, I could use an example. It's like, I remember Miss Drew, you know, coming around, walking around, interviewing people. Now she's a big host in Ghana.
I remember she wanted to host one of my small events, and
you see what I mean. And she's doing so well.
And now look what she's doing. Yeah,
you know,
she's done amazing. Was she a Miss Ghana contestant?
She was actually. She was Miss Ghana. You know, so you know, the whole idea is creating the opportunities for others as well. You know, it's not only just us doing events and making the financial gain, but we're also creating opportunities, and that's what people need to understand.
And that's what Akwaaba has done, because a lot of people just, you can tell, you know, a lot of people just do events just to make money, and but Akwaaba Group, like I said, you've created opportunities for other people, DJs.
How many DJs has come through, you know?
You know, like a lot of the Miss Ghana contestants, they come and, you know, like, it's just anything, and you bring people together. I mean, the kings and queens of the UK and Ireland come. You get the Ghana High Commission,
who's always a patron, always coming there. You know,
you get different types of businesses.
You know, we get now companies in Ghana attend Party in the Park. Why? An opportunity for them to get to the community. You know what I mean? If they want to, you know, sell their product to the community, they know this is one day they could get a volume of Ghanaians to come, for them to be able to, you know, I've had companies, I've had big companies that have come to launch a Party in the Park. They've launched their product at Party in the Park. I've had big media companies that have come to launch a Party in the Park. So that tells me that, you know, whatever we're doing the right thing, you know.
And this year, amazingly, you guys had a virtual, and I enjoyed it. To be honest, when I saw it, I was like, how's this going to work? I mean, the virtual thing, for me, it's grown on me. I think it's grown on all of us during this COVID period. A lot of us weren't into doing Instagram lives, which you were doing, even myself. You know, even though I do this, apart from this, I'm not really into all the social media kind of stuff. But, you know, you guys really pulled it off. And I was with my kids in the front room and we were dancing. I was like, how do these people do this thing? I was on YouTube and there was so much people tuning in, so much people watching, and it was a nice evening. And I was like, wow, like, you guys have brought Ghana Party in the Park into the homes.
Exactly. You know,
how did you do that? Because, and once again, what I loved about it is the fact that these young, I should stop saying young because some of them are even like in their late 20s, but you know, I mean, younger than us, you know, they were hosting it.
Yes.
You know, so it's shown that you've given people the opportunity. You give people the opportunity.
Yeah, which is something I've always done anyway. Giving people from the word go, I've given people the opportunity. Sometimes as well, it does hurt me a little bit. How these people, you're giving them opportunity. When they make it, or when you even call onto them, they've forgotten what you've done for them. You know.
I think we all have experienced that.
So, you know,
but yeah, with you,
know,
definitely.
It's like I'm like thinking to myself, you know, like, you know, you've forgotten where you came
started,
from. You know, DJs, the DJs that, you know, didn't even know, you know, how to play in front of a crowd.
Yes.
I gave them the opportunity. You know. So at the end of the day, I mean, I was happy with it. I'll be honest with you, I was happy with it because, again, it gave me a new team. I mean, when I first mentioned it to my team.
So was it your idea?
It was my idea, but I got the inspiration from another friend of mine in Ghana who did Free Music Awards, Sadiq. And I watched the way he did it, and then I'm like, wow, if he's done it, I could do it. And then I remember speaking to Shatawale on Instagram Live on my birthday. I interviewed him, and it's like, oh, he enjoyed that experience. Oh, I'm thinking, oh, Shatawale too has done it. Why not? Let me just try it.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was very. So I thought to myself, let me try and do it. So when we finally decided that Ghana Party in the Park is not going to take place, and we asked people for their refund, a lot of people were like, no, keep the money for next year. You know. Then we sent emails out to some of the ticket holders and say, look, we're going to do a virtual event. How do you feel about it? A lot of people were like, yeah. Fine.
And how did you feel about it? Because it was such a success. I mean, I was glued to my laptop from beginning to end. And
you see, I'll be honest with you, during the lockdown, I didn't relax. I wasn't relaxed. I'm always on the phone to, you know, if I'm on the phone.
Was you worried when this whole lockdown thing happened? Because obviously most of the things you do are from gatherings, people coming together. So how did you feel when all this started happening?
I know, speaking to some of my colleagues, I'm like, the next month, they're going to ease the lockdown. There's always like the next month. And then, you know, at the end of May, and, you know, things are not changing. So I was worried because at the end of the day, we need a human contact.
Yes.
You know, that's what we are, you know. And for our industry, nobody planned this happening.
Yes.
But then I was thinking to myself, wow, nothing's going to happen. You know, this is going to be a difficult year. You know, when I speak to all my colleagues, it's the same conversation. So what's going to happen? They're not going to ease the lockdown. Then when you watch the Boris makes his announcement and like, there's nothing in the music industry, there's nothing in the creative side. I'm like, oh wow. It's like,
but you guys, I mean, us Ghanaians in Ghana have really turned things around during this period and still making things happen. And like the virtual Ghana in the Park Ghana Party in the Park was such a huge success.
You know,
I mean, whether you made money or not, it was just successful.
No, it was no money made. We actually spent money to get it going, but we had to do it. You know,
it was nice.
You know, why can't we do something? What we're doing in the park, we just do a mini version of it. And, you know, again, giving other people the chance to, you know, and since then we've established some good DJs, we've established some good dancers, some music. So at the end of the day, we've also learned something, we've gained something as well. So it's,
and what do your children think? Like, are they involved in Akwaaba now? What you do? Because they're older now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're older now, but believe it or not, the virtual, they were involved, they helped me. You know, they were excellent, you know. They were telling me what to do, you know, they were there with me. And the support I got from them and the whole family was just excellent. It's like, when I got back home that night, I'm like, wow, you guys made me proud.
Yeah,
you know,
it was amazing.
Like, you know,
I didn't, when I saw it on Facebook, I was like
my family even had their Party in the Park t-shirts on at home watching it.
It was really,
to get home to see them, the t-shirts and everything else, I'm like, wow.
It was really good.
I'm happy I did this now, you know, I felt, you know, there's a little smile on my face, like, wow.
I would be proud if I could pull that off. It was amazing, guys. You can always go back to watch it on YouTube, on the Akwaaba
UK,
on Akwaaba UK YouTube page. Guys, we've been talking to Dennis Tawiah. I'm blown away, honestly. You know, his story is just amazing. He's a pioneer. Dennis is he's incredible, and that's why I wanted him on the show. And I'm just so happy that I was able to make this happen. Please share, guys, share, and don't forget to subscribe to Omega Live TV on Facebook and on YouTube, because if it wasn't for Omega Live TV, there'll be no Radical D in the studio talking to us now, telling us about his life story and how he's been such an inspiration to us all. So don't forget, hit that like button, share, and our YouTube page, please follow. And also, Omega Live TV is powered by Omega House Multimedia Company, who are located on West Green Road, right next door to Uncle John's Bakery, and you can reach them for all your multimedia needs. They cover events, weddings. I mean, we're not in that season, but we're going to get back into it. Everything for multimedia, virtual, whatever you want. Omega House Multimedia Company on West Green Road. So as I said, we've been talking to Radical D and Dennis. Everything that you've spoken about, your story up to now, I mean, to be a man like yourself and still be in the game, it takes great management, like powerful leadership skills. How have you been able to how do you deal with challenges? Because I know it's not easy. I mean, how have you been able to stay consistent, deal with challenges and not given up on all this? Because you could have just said, you know what, I'll forget this, and just, you know.
I mean, look, I could have given up a long time ago. If I think of some of the challenges I've faced all along, there's been some serious challenges, but I've always had this in me. I want to prove myself, you know, I want to do better, you know what I mean? I always want to do, it's always about your next event. So even if I've got something wrong, I'm always thinking of what can I do, well, you know, I'm always thinking of, I'm very creative, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, when
I would never have thought of you as a creative man. But
so I'm always, you know, it's like, you know, there's always something I wanted to do, you know? So there's been a lot of challenges, especially, you know, I'm not going to sit down here and say, you know, it's all been easy. There's been lots of challenges, but then every year I think of doing something, you know, it's not even doing events here. I do a lot of events in Ghana as well, you know.
And in Europe.
Yeah, in Europe as well, you know. I started doing events in Europe with 90%, you know, and it's like, now Akwaaba, I've now got Akwaaba Germany, Akwaaba Holland, Akwaaba Belgium, you know,
and you have people running these.
I've got people, you know, and this year we're going to launch Akwaaba Switzerland, but obviously because of the
that's
COVID,
that's going to be good. I've got family there. So.
Oh yeah, so that was the plan as well to launch it this year, but obviously we might do that next year now.
Okay.
So the whole idea was also reaching out to other people to make the brand bigger, you know, to make the brand reach other places.
Yes.
So Akwaaba Germany is doing excellent. France is doing well. Belgium, we still need a little bit of work on. We are going to work hard with Switzerland because we do get a lot of friends or people coming from Switzerland to some of our events. So we thought, look, we're going to launch it. So I'm not just relaxing because we're doing well in the UK. No, we want to do well in other places as well as Ghana as well. You know, this concept of everybody going to Ghana December, people don't know where it came from. You know, it came from the foundation of Akwaaba organizing December events. Now, we are, quote unquote, we have all the big festivals and people forgetting what role Akwaaba has played every single December.
And I mean, if we're going to talk about Ghana, we'll be here forever because the events you guys do, all white, all black, first the beach part.
We come up with different names, always different concepts. But you know, for me, it's good to know that, look, I'm part of this foundation that is making people enjoy the entertainment scene now, you know.
And even Afro Nation, like you guys partner. You did partner with them.
We partnered them. The approaches, we partnered them. We worked alongside them. We actually managed a lot of the artists on their behalf as well. So also it gave us the opportunity to do something as well.
Yes.
You know, they created a space for us to be able to come in, to be able to work alongside them. And, you know, we got a lot of the Ghanaian artists, you know, almost 80% of the Ghanaian artists that performed came through Akwaaba or came through our recognition. So this is, you know.
And you've always collaborated. That's one thing I know about you. How important is collaboration in business?
It's key, you know. I've learned, I mean, although it's come at a later time now, but I've learned that collaboration is the new form of competition. You know, you collaborate with people, but you know, no, it is. You know,
it is definitely.
This year again, I've been speaking to likes of Alodia, and now we're going to do so many different shows together. But obviously, it can.
And that's good. The fact that you and Alodia do things together.
You know, we even did Ghana Independence together. This year. So we had other events in the pipeline that would have been good for the community. So yes, collaboration is one of the our strongest points. You know, let's collaborate with one or two people to get things done. Because we can't do everything by ourselves.
Exactly,
you know,
and it takes a village. So guys, collaboration is key. Don't be fighting people. Join forces. It makes things more powerful. So Dennis, Dvision management, something, I don't know if it's new. Well, it's the newest, isn't it?
Yes, it's new.
Let's talk about that and why you decided to create Dvision's management.
Honestly, true promotion, true on what I do. Akwaaba, UK, Ghana Party in the Park, the football matches, everything we've talked about. What tends to happen is that a lot of corporate clients tend to approach me, or they want to use some of my services. So obviously I cannot put everything underneath the Akwaaba umbrella because Akwaaba is just more or less an event.
Yes.
And some big companies approach me, so they also want, like I say, they want to get to the community. You know, they want to get to the people in the diaspora. How do we launch our product? How do we get people to know about our product? So,
and these are big. You work with big brands.
You know, I'll tell you the names. You know, Ghana Commercial Bank. You know, one of our sponsors here today, World Remit, Western Union, MTN Ghana. The list, you know.
I know.
So we you know,
it goes on. And you manage artists as well.
We're managing artists as well. We obviously the likes of Shatawale, Sarkodie, Kidi Kwame Eugene. We manage their international bookings for them.
Okay.
You know, again, we have exposure to some of these international festivals. So the whole idea is to introduce them to all these festivals and this event. So it was something that I had to do because slowly I'm moving away from Akwaaba for the next generation to take over. So obviously that's something that I've been doing, and I've been doing it for
Dvision's obviously Dennis. This is your thing.
My vision.
This is the big boss doing his thing.
This is the hard-working boss.
do this thing.
So it's something I do because I do get a lot of requests to work alongside various companies. So I feel it's only right to have that in place to be able to service all the corporate clients and what they may need.
Dennis, it's been so great having you in the studio. It feels up to me we could talk to 12 p.m. Trust me, because like you're such an inspiration, and just hearing your stories, you know, so inspiring to me. But we do have to come to an end. Before we do, guys, don't forget to share. This show's going to be available on Omega Live TV, on YouTube and Facebook. So still share. You know, we've had Radical D, Dennis Tawiah in the house, and he's told us about his journey. I don't think he's ever done this anywhere before. So rate me, guys, rate me, because I've brought out the best in Radical D today, and I'm so happy that, you know, you've been open and honest about your journey to who you are now. So before we end, have to talk about 90% Hit Squad again, because you guys are reuniting. So what can we expect? And why are you reuniting?
We're reuniting because we feel that we need to get back together. You know, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. You know, the good thing is we've all gone our separate ways and we're all doing various things. But now and then we tend to do things like, I'll give you Party in the Park. There was a year whereby I'm organizing Party in the Park. My main production team is Mr. Trips. Then 3 of the presenters, believe it or not, is Abrantia, Black Ash, and Shooks. And then one of the DJs is Moscom. So literally, that's 90%, the whole of the 90% people in one place.
Literally doing
so since last year, we got approached by another company to do a documentary. And the documentary was supposed to take place this year. Again, obviously things have changed. And then we've been talking among ourselves and we feel like, you know what, people want to see that generation. What was it? That generation that people don't know. A lot of people don't even know that I was a DJ.
I didn't.
You know, that's one of my main strengths.
I would have never thought you was.
You know, so some of the DJs now, when I speak to them, I'm telling them, look, you guys, you're lucky. You know, you now have your Serato and your CDJs, and you know, I was a DJ playing to a difficult crowd. You know, now I see DJs that come and play. I book a DJ, they come and play 20, 30 minutes, and that's it. No.
And you guys were playing for hours on
We were playing for hours. We were the first people there. We go there and go and set up, right? We're setting up at 6 o'clock. The rave will start late at 9 o'clock. And we're the last people leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, when, you know, you're watching Easterners, Omnibus Edition. That's what we were doing. And we were playing records, you know, different. And now you book a DJ, they just come and play 20, 30. So I keep saying to the DJs, you know, come on, guys, you can do more than that.
And charge you huge money.
Yeah, yes, we
pay
them
money
big
that
money,
you
know?
would take the whole night. They want it in for
and
like 2 hours.
And then they also repeat their songs as well, which is something I don't like. Because in our days, we were not allowed to repeat our songs. You know, we're not allowed. I believe a DJ, there's enough records.
There's so much music, isn't there?
Everybody come and they want to play the same thing. They want to play the same thing. So 90% we've just thought, look, let's come back. Let's show ourselves that, you know what,
and it's going to be good, especially for the mature ravers.
For the mature,
you know, we want somewhere to go. We want somewhere to.
No. What we're putting together, when it's ready, you would love it. You know, you would love it. I know we've been working hard, and the good thing, we've got time on our side to make sure we get it right. So I know 2021 is definitely going to happen, but there's going to be a build up to it, and we're all looking forward to it. And I'm going to invite all the old school guys as well as the new school DJs to come and see. They should come and see.
You should do competition.
Oh, we beat them. We'll beat them because they've only got one music to play.
We still listen. You know we have so much. Before we end, I've got to like. Millie Hyde said, "Great interview, Eva. Nice seeing Dennis in front of the camera and not behind the scenes." I'm happy, Millie, as well that he's here. Like honestly, and also a Fritiwa Mamba, Mary J. Blige, the owner of Afrikiko. Yeah, you know her, don't you? She said, absolutely well done, Radical, and your team. You've always been an awesome entertainer. Bless you all. I mean, all your people have tuned in. You know, it's just been amazing.
I mean, you're talking about Mary J. Blige. When you talk about 90%, we were playing all the big events, whether it's R. Kelly, whether it's Jodeci, whether it's Joe, whether it's Big Bab. I mean, if you think of all the big artists back in the day, you know, 90% was there playing the music, you know, all the big US artists, you know, when they come to the UK for a show, you know, 90% was there playing alongside some good DJs like Rampage.
And so, other squads, there's a lot of squads there.
Yeah, there
what was that all
Rip
about?
Squad,
yeah.
oh God, the squad,
That even came into
Drop
like,
Squad.
yeah.
There's, you know, Boogie Bunch. There's a lot. There's a lot of, you know, but you know, we were playing for household names, you know, big US artists, you know, so it's not just entertaining the African community. We were entertaining everybody.
Yeah, 90% hit squad.
Yeah,
so
you know,
90% hit squad are coming back with a bang. You've heard it from the boss himself.
Follow us on 90%, you know.
On Instagram. They've got a new Instagram page, 90% hit squad.
90% hit squad, yeah.
Yeah, so follow them on Instagram. Follow Dennis himself, Radical D on Instagram, and also Akwaaba Group for all your updates of their events. I mean, they're doing amazingly well, and they're giving our children opportunities. You know, it's just growing from generation to generation, and that's what I love about Akwaaba UK. So a big thank you to our sponsors for today's show, World Remit, Cosmic Cocktails, Base, and also Dash Mobile Kitchens. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got to go. We've gone way over time. Thank you, Dennis, so much for joining me in the studio. God bless you.
Pleasure for having me.
2 weeks' time, I have two amazing ladies in the studio, and we're going to be talking about motherhood and business. Make sure you join me on the 24th of August. Thank you for